Hey, it's Garrett Graves. Just want to give you some really good news. As you all know, we have been working now for months trying to continue to progress efforts to respond to our 2016 flood, to work on trying to pivot this federal government just totally reactive position where we spend billions of dollars after a flood instead of millions before. Got some great news. We just finished voting about 30 minutes ago. We passed a bill, it's H.R. 4, by a vote of 393 votes for and only 13 votes against. The bill just begins fundamentally changing the way that we handle disasters. It does everything from fixing the duplication of benefits ridiculousness that has caused so many problems for thousands of you in South Louisiana. It has addressed the issue and put us on a path to fix the I-12 wall barrier issue, where we put standards in place. FEMA and the Federal Highway Administration put standards in to fix that. We fixed the problem whereby FEMA's spending $150,000 per trailer whenever local trailer dealers or mobile home unit dealers will give it to us for $30,000 for the same trailer. We've allowed for local governments and state governments to take over the housing program, and in situations like where Sheriff Ard in Livingston Parish has provided as his own housing solution for deputies, allowing him to get reimbursed for that because it's less than half the cost of what the federal government would have spent doing the same thing. This bill is a major win for South Louisiana. We're very excited about the progress that's being made. I want to run through a few other of the wins that are in there. Schools in East Baton Rouge, Ascension, and Livingston parishes collectively are having to pay tens of millions of dollars because of a flawed interpretation in law that FEMA's come up with, where they're charging them this outrageous deductible for the schools to get rebuilt. Millions and millions of dollars. Again, tens of millions of dollars collectively. Well, the situation is that the schools oftentimes get their money from property taxes. Well, if the properties are destroyed from the flood, you're going to get less money, and the federal government's trying to significantly increase the cost of rebuilding homes, rebuilding school buildings, rebuilding your campuses, your educational opportunities for kids. So what we've done is we've passed an amendment today, bipartisan amendment that goes back and restores the intent of Congress, significantly lowering the deductible that schools are going to have to pay. So it allows the schools to spend money on things we want them to spend money on, like educating our kids, not on paying FEMA, which is outrageous. One of the other things we did another amendment today that allows for an arbitration process. Instead of allowing FEMA to review its own work and during the appeals process, sending it to an outside entity to go through the appeal. The Civilian Board of Contractor Appeals is an independent government entity that has expertise in this area. Let them review it. You can actually submit more evidence, allow them to give you a real appeals process, and not having the same person effectively looking over their initial decision and rarely, if ever, actually coming up with a new position and just continuing to reject appeals that are made to FEMA. So let me say it again. This is a real win for South Louisiana. It's actually a win for all taxpayers across the country, because we've got to stop this ridiculousness of spending. In the case of 2017 hurricanes, we're already appropriated $180 billion. Many of these expenditures were preventable if we had simply built the Corps of Engineer projects on the front end and address the problems by simply being proactive instead of reactive. And along those lines, I know one of the last things that y'all are going to be really interested in is the COMEAT project. This bill does help to lay the groundwork to provide full federal funds to finish the COMEAT project, something else that has been around for decades without the progress that you deserve, considering that we're paying a property tax to advance that project. $100 million has been spent and very little has been done that's actually provided any flood relief for folks in South Louisiana. So win, win, win. 393 votes for, only 13 votes against. This bill goes over to the Senate, and we're looking forward to working with the Senate to finally get this signed into law to address all these longstanding problems that have plagued South Louisiana.